Tyrell sat at the small kitchen table in his one-bedroom apartment in Compton, staring at a blank sheet of paper. Bills were piled in one corner. A half-empty cup of instant noodles sat on the other. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the weight of what he was about to do. For years, Tyrell was deep in the streets. Gang life wasn't just survival, it was his identity. But prison changed him. Losing his brother to the same streets changed him even more. At 34, he was a man who carried the past like chains, but he was desperate to break free. Job applications were constant failures. No one wanted to hire an ex-con, let alone one with tattoos marking his past life. One more rejection email that morning pushed him to the edge. Something had to give. Scrolling through Instagram later that day, he saw a post from Snoop Dogg, talking about second chances, about giving back to the community. It wasn't the first time Snoop posted like that, but today, it hit differently. Tyrell grabbed a pen. No typing, no DMs. Something real. Something old school. A handwritten letter. Dear Snoop, I hope this reaches you. My name is Tyrell. I used to be part of the problem in our community. Now I just want to be part of the solution. I'm struggling, man, but I'm trying. I don't expect nothing. I just needed to tell somebody my story. He wrote for hours. About growing up without a father. About the first time he held a gun. About losing his brother in a drive-by. About prison. And about waking up every day now just trying to survive. Clean, honest, and alone. At the end, he added, I don't want money. I don't want fame. I just need to know, is there a way for someone like me to matter? Folding the letter, he stared at it for a long time. This is stupid, he mumbled. But something pushed him forward. He found Snoop's business address, online, a P.O. box listed for fan mail. He mailed it, and waited. Days passed, then weeks. Life went on, barely. Tyrell kept applying for jobs, kept getting rejected. Nights felt heavier than ever. Then, one afternoon, his phone rang. Unknown number, area code, Long Beach. He hesitated, then answered. Yo, is this Tyrell? The voice was smooth, familiar, iconic. His heart nearly stopped. Yeah, who's this? It's Snoop, nephew. Got your letter. Tyrell gripped the phone so tight it might have cracked. Wait. Nah, you far? For real? His voice shook. Dead serious, homie. I read every word. You got me thinking, man. You ain't invisible, and you ain't alone. Tyrell covered his mouth, tears welling up. Man, I don't even know what to say. Then don't say nothing yet, just listen. I got an idea. That was the moment Tyrell's life would change forever. The day after the phone call, Tyrell still wasn't sure it was real. He kept replaying it in his head. But then, his phone buzzed again. A text from Snoop's assistant. Pull up to the compound. Here's the address. Tomorrow, noon. Tyrell barely slept that night. Morning came with a heavy mix of nerves and hope. Wearing the cleanest clothes he owned, jeans, a plain hoodie, and a pair of beat-up sneakers, he caught 2 buses to get there. When he arrived, the gates opened slowly, revealing a compound, unlike anything he'd ever seen. Murals, classic lowriders, palm trees, a basketball court, music bumping from somewhere inside. Waiting by the studio entrance was the man himself. Snoop. Tall, lean, dressed in a blue flannel, sunglasses, and a bucket hat. My guy. You made it, Snoop said, dap in one hand, arm around the shoulder in the next. Inside, the energy was chill but serious. Platinum plaques on the walls. Laughter from a room nearby. People moving. Business happening. But today, Snoop's focus was on Tyrell. Look, homie, I get letters all the time, but yours hit different. You ain't asking for a handout. You asking for direction, and that's something I can respect. Tyrell nodded, still overwhelmed. Yeah, man, I just don't want to go back to that life. But I don't know what else to do. That's where we start, Snoop said, sitting back. I run a lot of things out this place. Music, merch, foundation work, youth programs. What you say if I gave you a shot? Real work? Learn the business? Maybe even turn your story into something that can help others. Tyrell blinked. You serious? Nephew, I don't play about this. You ready to grind? Show up every day? No shortcuts? Bet. 100%. Snoop smiled. Aight then. Let's get it. That day, Snoop introduced Tyrell to the team. He started as an assistant in the warehouse, packaging merch, organizing shipments, learning logistics. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. And for the first time in years, Tyrell felt seen. Word spread fast. People from the old neighborhood started noticing. Yo, is that Tyrell working with Snoop? Some cheered him on, others hated. Not everyone believed a man could change. But Tyrell kept showing up. Day after day. Weeks turned into months. Tyrell went from warehouse assistant to helping manage community events through Snoop's foundation. His favorite part? Speaking to kids who were just like he used to be, angry, lost, ready to fall into the streets. One afternoon, while setting up for a youth event, a teenager approached him. Yo, you really used to bang? The kid asked, skeptical. Yeah, I did, Tyrell answered honestly. But that ain't who I am no more. And you ain't gotta be either. The kid stared at him. Man, you don't look like no role model, Tyrell chuckled. Exactly. That's why you'll listen. The moments kept stacking. Lives were shifting. But the streets didn't forget. One night, Tyrell came home to find his car keyed. On the driver's door, snitch. His stomach twisted. Old fears resurfaced. Was he really safe? Was change even possible? The next morning he told Snoop about it. That's how you know you movin' right, nephew, Snoop said. Haters don't hate nobodies. You somebody now. But it wasn't all bad. Local news picked up his story, then a podcast, then a radio station. Every interview ended with the same question. What made you change? And every answer started the same. A letter, and a phone call that changed everything. A year after mailing that letter, Tyrell stood in front of a packed auditorium. Hundreds of people, including former gang members, kids from tough neighborhoods, and community leaders. He was the keynote speaker at a conference about second chances. If you told me a year ago I'd be up here, I'd have laughed in your face, Tyrell started. But I wrote a letter, not knowing if anyone would read it. I just needed to believe my life could be more than my mistakes. He scanned the crowd. Snoop sat in the front row, nodding proudly. I'm living proof that one decision can change everything. I ain't special. I'm just someone who got tired of surviving and started living. The crowd stood, clapping, some with tears in their eyes, some recording every word. After the speech, people lined up to shake his hand. Some asked for advice. Others simply said, "Thank you." Backstage, Snoop walked up, pulled Tyrell into a hug. Proud of you, nephew. You did that. You made it real. I couldn't have done it without that call, big homie, Tyrell said, voice cracking. Nah, the call ain't what changed you, Snoop replied. You changed you. I just picked up the phone. As the sun set over L.A., Tyrell walked outside, breathing deep. Free, not just from the streets, but from the weight of believing he was nothing. More than his past, a letter, a phone call, a choice, and a life rewritten.